Okay, we're going to begin by reviewing the agenda. We have, what do you usually do? You do the corrections as you went along?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll do previous minutes, student and school presentations, parent groups, open to the public, 3 minutes per speaker, no longer than 60 minutes. Superintendent's report, correspondence and board comments, the personnel agenda, which will include create positions. On page 3B, the correct statement will be for the purpose of retirement, non-instructional termination, non-instructional appointments, probationary instructional appointment, appoint member of the Committee on Special Education, new instructional appointment, instructional appointments, appoint permanent substitute teachers, appoint staff for summer spectrum class, appoint staff for summer reading program at BHS, appoint coordinators, appoint department coordinators at BHS, appoint athletic chaperones, appoint nurses for summer physicals, appoint substitute nurses, appoint lifeguards. Then the consent agenda. CSC committee recommendations, the district treasurer's report, approve a transfer, accept donations. Under contracts on page 12, we have multiple corrections. Bullet 2 will be taken from the agenda. We will table that topic. Bullet 5, there's a correction where it says School for Work LLC should state Students for Work LLC. Bullet 6 will also be taken from the agenda. Then we'll have a number of resolutions. Then we'll have an addendum, which also has 2 resolutions. And then we will be removing the executive session, and we will adjourn the meeting. Okay. Previous minutes?
Motion to accept the minutes of the previous regular meeting held on June 18, 2012 as circulated.
Second. Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I don't see any student or school presentations. Any parent groups? Open to the public. Anyone like to speak?
My name is Tracy Ellen Everett. I'm a parent and a taxpayer in the district. My comments will be very brief. I just want to congratulate Melissa on her new role and also extend a great deal of thank you to Bill for his service and effort and tenacity through the years. And so I just want to say thank you and congratulations.
Anyone else? Okay. Superintendent's report.
We'd like to thank members of our guests, members of the community, and I'd like to welcome someone I just had the privilege to meet, Ed Tucker. Ed's been, as you know, a school board member for 10 years, and he's now the community liaison for Assemblyman Scarpatos. I hope I said that right, maybe not. Yeah, it had some of the same vowels in it. And we're looking forward to staying in touch with you. So thanks for coming out to the meeting. This is a very challenging time for school districts across New York State, particularly because we have to submit what's affectionately known as the APPR, the Annual Professional Performance Review. And our deadline was this past weekend. To get it done, who do you call? The best person. And we're so thankful that Dr. Barbara Walkley, who we worked with in the past, was available to take on the assignment. Barbara worked with a number of school groups and finally got it in. I said, well, you were up all day and all night for 10 days. How was it? And Barbara said, it was one of the most difficult things I ever did next to my dissertation. So when someone like Barbara Walkley tells you that, you know that it was quite an endeavor. And I would like to thank Barbara and ask you to come down, maybe make a few comments.
Good evening. First, I'd like to say thank you to the board for allowing me the opportunity to come back, and it's been great to be back and working with people, and certainly the task would have never been done without the help of others, and like any good task, it's always good to work together. So a few people I'd like to mention, I'll tell you about the process. When I came last week, I asked that if we could meet with some teachers, a focus group who had been through the APPR this year, and I also wanted to meet with principals who had worked on the APPR this year, so that we could talk about how it went, what they learned, and what was their wish, their hope for the APPR. So Kim Atwell, Mrs. Atwell, our Teachers Union president, was able to bring together at the very, last second of asking teachers to come out of their classroom at the end of the school year, and it was extraordinary that people came and wanted to help. So those people were Monica Paredes, Glenn Morris, Angie Wickerman, Terry Lucido, Dawn Clemens, and Tom Burns. And we spent part of half of a day working together and sharing information. And then I was also very fortunate to work with Eric Romanito and Dawn Cadello, who gave the principal side of the story. So we had a list of criteria that was going to be our criteria to know whether we felt good about the APPR or not. And of course, our attorney, Mr. Lambert, was so helpful with his comments and keeping us within the regulation and on track. So it was a big task, but many hands help out, and we did submit it. It's kind of interesting, and we hope that it will be approved. We put what we think will work for us, and we'll see what the state thinks about that. So, thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Walkley, and I have a feeling that we'll be seeing a lot more of Barbara in the future.
That's it? Okay. Okay, correspondence and board comments. Who wants to start? Well, we'll go with Larry because he kept down.
Thank you. I had the distinct honor, and I call it an honor and pleasure, to participate in our graduation this year at the stadium for the class of 2012. And I get choked up at graduation every year. And our kids, almost, I think about 225 kids graduated and walked. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience for me and for our kids that graduated, but especially for me this year because my daughter graduated, so I got to be part of that. One really special thing that we did this year as a district that was spearheaded by Dr. Sieverding, our principal here, was the Operation Recognition, where we graduated 4 veterans, 2 from World War II and 2 from the Vietnam War, who were taken out of high school to serve our country during wartime, and were never given the opportunity to get their high school diplomas. And through a new bill that was passed or brought back this past March, Dr. Sieverding worked with the VA hospitals and 4 veterans graduated. And I don't think that there was a dry eye in that stadium for this ceremony. Really quite extraordinary. So we did it, and Beacon is on the map once again for doing something quite extraordinary. I know that New Paltz had advertised it. I don't know if they had done it, but from what I've heard, I think we were the only school in the Hudson Valley that had done it. And the only other thing I have to say is welcome back, Barbara. Dr. Walkley. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I don't know if our kids will ever know how fortunate they are. I know our staff does now with your involvement in the APPR. But I don't know if our kids will ever understand how fortunate they are to have you have your hands in things. So I certainly do appreciate it, and I'm so thrilled to have you here.
I certainly echo Larry's sentiments on both accounts of graduation and seeing Dr. Walkley here. I do just have to add for my own, I guess, 2 cents. With the Operation Recognition, I thought it was very gratifying that the crowd acknowledged each of those 4 graduates as at some moment, once they had gotten their diploma, they were leaving and they all got applause and they got their moment. It was very touching. So.
Just want to say welcome back, Dr. Walkley. As I said, as you got out of the car tonight, welcome back to Beacon. I hope the state accepts your program.
I also attended graduation, and it was very moving, like Larry and Betsy had said. There really wasn't a dry eye, I don't think, in the house at that point. Congratulations to Melissa, and thank you to Bill. I hope everybody has a nice summer. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Walkley, for all your hard work that you've been doing, and it's great to have you back. Just to echo what everyone else has said about graduation, it was a very moving ceremony, and I'm so thrilled that we were able to do that for the veterans. It was great. It was just a very nice experience. And congratulations to Melissa, and thank you, Bill, as well.
I also attended graduation, but I also had the chance this year to attend a few of the 5th grade moving up ceremonies at South Avenue and at Glenham. And it was funny because I've gone to the South Avenue moving up for the past few years. And I always said, it's so hot, we should put all these schools together in 5th grade. They should do it at the high school. Everyone would be cooler, there'd be so much room. And then as I had a chance to attend more than one, I really could see how the personality of each school really comes out. And the children, by the time they get to 5th grade, are so proud of their own school building that it was just, my opinion totally changed about that. So, although it was hot, it was during that heat wave. And just one other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if anyone saw this in the Beacon Free Press, but some of our young students with autism, one of them is actually going to be hosting an event at Howland Public Library on July 24th. I read it and I thought it would be interesting to share if there are any families who may not know about it. It's called What's Next? Life After High School for Young Adults with Autism. It's going to be on July 24th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. and you would have to register, but they're asking for families or professionals who are interested in assisting young adults with autism with their transition. So if you're interested, you can call the library. But I was so proud to see some of the guests who were here doing presentations for the Autism Awareness Month are going to be speakers. So good luck to them for the presentation. That's it. Thank you.
I'm not last. I was racking my brain to see if I could think of anything that nobody else has already said that you might say, so I can get to it before you. But I think everybody's pretty much covered everything, and I just want to congratulate the graduates. I hope they all have success in college or the trade or military, wherever they're going. I hope that they can take all of what they've learned here and apply it to whatever they do in the coming year. And Dr. Walkley, thank you very much for being available and coming back to us. We look forward to working with you.
Okay. Well, like Christine, I attended a couple of moving ups. I attended Glenham's 5th grade moving up. I attended Rombout's 8th grade moving up. But our graduation, it just had a tender feeling, right? Even the students truly respected the veterans that were receiving their diplomas. And, I had tears, not hiding behind my eye, but traveling down my cheek. And I felt that, looking about the crowd, that they had it too. Not just the audience, but the students as well. And the students were, I don't know, they just had a great feeling about them. When you looked out amongst that crowd, they were supporting one another, they were all there for one another, and you felt like the class of 2012 was really going great places, because looking at their faces, they just had that twinkle, let's say. So congratulations again to all of our graduates. As everyone has said, thank you so much for all of your work. As I've read articles across the state, and APPR being that skeleton in the closet for so many, to have you here and to accomplish those goals in just 10 days is completely overwhelming to me. But thank you so much for all of your work. And I think that's it for me as well. Okay. Oh, no, I did have one more comment. I would like to thank the board for having the confidence in me to stand as the president. And thank you for Bill to stand beside me and offer me all of his help thus far, as I know he will continue to help me in the coming year.
I'll get you in trouble.
Get you off the hook with the School Board Association.
Okay. Personnel agenda.
Motion to accept the personnel agenda as listed from A to Q.
Second?
Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. A lot of papers, Consent agenda.
Motion to accept the consent agenda as follows from A to F.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Addendum. Resolution 070212F.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the terms of the second addendum agreement to the Assistant Superintendent for Instruction and Personnel's Employment Agreement, a copy of which shall be incorporated by reference into the minutes of this meeting. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the President of the Board to execute such second addendum agreement on behalf of the Board.
Second?
Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution 070212G.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby appoint Dr. Barbara Walkley as interim assistant superintendent for instruction and personnel for the period commencing July 3rd, 2012 through October 31st, 2012, under the terms of the July 2nd, 2012 agreement by and between the Board of Education and Dr. Barbara Walkley, a copy of which shall be incorporated by reference in the minutes of this meeting. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education does hereby authorize the Board of Education President to execute such agreement on behalf of the district.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Welcome back, Dr. Walker. Yeah. Adjourn meeting.
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.